Misfits, people ask me all the time about tools that I use in my life and business to maximize my success. I usually start by telling them one of my most powerful tools is my morning habits. And of course, they look at me somewhat confused. I then explain how important it is for me to center myself and how I begin my day and plan for my success. It's critical to consistent high performance. And it doesn't take me long, about 5 or 10 minutes, because I use a great resource called the 5-Minute Journal. The 5-Minute Journal is the simplest, most effective way I've ever found to start your day in the right mindset, doing the right things, and set yourself up for success. And it is exactly what it says, a 5-minute exercise you can do each day. Let me ask you, if you could reach your next level in your life and business by spending just 5 minutes of focused time a day, would you do it? I bet you would. And I know it works because I've experienced the power of it. And you can get your 5-minute journal simply by going to www.misfitentrepreneur.com/journal. That's misfitentrepreneur.com/journal. Do what I do. Use this amazing resource to give yourself an edge in your performance and your success. Get your 5-minute journal today.
Hello, Misfit entrepreneurs. Welcome to another edition of Lessons for Hannah. Many years ago, I introduced a new format alongside our regular episodes that I call Lessons for Hannah. Hannah's my daughter, and she's one of the main inspirations for the Misfit entrepreneur. I wanted to have a place where she could go and learn from her dad and his Misfit friends long after I'm gone throughout her life, basically. And if you haven't listened to the first episode of Lessons for Hannah, I urge you to do so as it gives some more background and tells the amazing story of how Hannah came to be in our lives. Lessons for Hannah are very short, useful, sometimes comical lessons that I want to share with you and give to Hannah to help in your lives. And because I want Hannah to have these for her life, I'm going to speak as though I'm talking directly to her. These episodes are a lot of fun. And if you think there's a lesson or a topic that we should include in one of these episodes, please don't hesitate to send it over to us at support@misfitentrepreneur.com. We'd love to share it. As a reminder, if you're new to watching this show on YouTube, hit the subscribe button below. Give this video a like and comment as well. We do our best to respond to all comments as timely as possible. All right, here goes. This week's lesson for Hannah. Hannah, this one is near and dear to me this week. Life has a way of testing us when we least expect it. 2 weeks ago, I was in peak condition. I was training hard for my next Ironman. Everything was going really well. Things were looking really good. I was building all my, the strength, endurance, speed, everything I needed to do to really push my limits to new heights this year, new PRs and all that stuff. And then something happened, something that really I never saw coming. It started with a dull ache in my lower back and my legs during my run training. And at first I brushed it off as normal training fatigue and just, part of the process because I've had it before. And then though it happened, I was sleeping at about 3 a.m. I was woken up with probably the most excruciating pain that I've ever felt in my life. It was like literally getting shot with a gun. It hit me so hard that I literally fell out of bed. It hit me and I like my whole body spasmed and I fell out of bed. And, Hannah, you probably remember this because after I crawled back into bed, that night and every move that I made was sending shooting, stabbing, electric pains down my leg. I woke up the next morning. I couldn't even walk. I actually had to crawl down the stairs to get to our living room, and it took everything just to make it to the couch. And for the last 2 weeks, I have been on the sidelines trying to get back to normal. I went from preparing for my next Ironman, I had multiple ones this year, to struggling just to move normally in literally, just a day. After meeting with doctors and starting to work on getting back to normal movement, it looks like I've got a nerve issue in my lower back. In fact, it's hurting me sitting here doing this right now. And it's been incredibly frustrating to deal with, right? When you go from 100 miles an hour to 0 like that, it's tough, right? I am, though, much better today than I was 2 weeks ago. I can walk and get around. It's painful, but I can do it. I can, do, some things, right? But I know really no matter how this goes forward, right? I could be healed soon, or I may deal with this the rest of my life. I've got a choice to make. Right? I can let this setback take control, or I can take control of my response to it. And, I have to take control of my response to it. And I think, it's part of the lessons here, Hannah, you're going to face moments like this in your life, moments where something that you've worked for, something that you've given your all to, suddenly gets ripped away, or it just comes out of nowhere and just, doesn't make any sense. No rhyme or reason, right? One day I'm fine. The next day it's I can hardly walk, right? And so maybe it's an injury, maybe it's a failure or a disappointment that blindsides you, but it's in those moments, you'll feel that frustration, maybe even fear, but what matters most is what you do next. And I've had to really think hard and discipline myself on this over the last couple of weeks that I've been going through this. And I've made progress, but man, would I want it to be a lot further along? Absolutely, right? I'm going on 3 weeks into this thing, and it's looking like 20 minutes of walking is almost, that's about as max that I can do right now, right? So it's like, gosh, will I be able to, get back to running in the next 3 to 5 weeks, or maybe even a few months? That would be really nice, right? But, every day is just have to take it one day at a time. And that's some of the lessons I want to talk about that I've taken from this today. So the first lesson is you got to control your emotions and your mindset, right? Setbacks are going to happen. The first and the biggest battle isn't physical, it's mental and emotional, right? It would be so easy for me to just sit back and feel sorry for myself, get angry, dwell on the unfairness of the situation, all that. And it would be easy to let that frustration take over. But none of that helps. The only thing I can control is my attitude. And here's the thing, and you've heard me say this your whole life, kiddo. Things happen exactly as they're supposed to for a reason. Whatever reason I'm going through this, maybe it kept me off the roads biking so I didn't get hit by a car. Maybe it, something, right? Maybe there's just a specific reason why this is happening and doing this exactly the way that it's going. And it'll work out the way that it's supposed to in the end. I firmly believe that. But whenever we face setbacks in life, Hannah, I want you to remember this. You always have a choice in how you respond, right? No matter how bad things seem, you can choose to stay positive. You can keep your emotions in check, and you can focus on what you can do instead of what you can't. I could sit here again, miserable, wishing things were different, but that wouldn't heal me any faster. Instead, I choose to focus on the things that will move me forward. Working with my physical therapist, strengthening the areas that I can, maintaining a determined mindset. I'm still trying to burn the amount of calories that I was burning per day before this. And, it's different, but I'm doing it, right? There's a saying that I really love, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Setbacks are going to happen. That's life. But how much you suffer because of them is up to you and your choice on that. Now, lesson number 2 is to keep moving forward, even if it's painful. One of the hardest things about setbacks is that they slow you down. Right now, I can't run, but guess what? I can bike. I can swim, even though it hurts, with some pain, I can do it. I can do some lifting, so I do that. So I keep going. I push myself as hard as my body allows. And some days progress feels really, really good. Other days it feels like I'm going nowhere, like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But no matter what, I'm not going to stop. I can't stop. I won't stop. I won't let myself, because movement, even small movement, is progress, especially in this game. Hannah, when life knocks you down, you don't have to come back all at once. You have to keep moving forward, little by little, if that's what it takes. Maybe you won't be able to run full speed right away, right? But, but if you take it step by step, right? If you can crawl, you crawl. It can only take, deep breaths. If that's all you can do and keep your head in the right place, you do that. Progress isn't always fast, and it's rarely ever easy, but the only way to truly fail is to stop and stop trying and stop going, right? Stop acting. So that's the key, is you just don't stop. Lesson number 3 on this is you have to embrace the process, and especially in this case, for me, like the unknown, right? One of the toughest parts of this whole experience is not knowing when or if I will fully recover from this. Right now, I've got no guarantees. I'm making progress. Physical therapist thinks I'm doing, really, really well for where I'm at, week over week. But I don't know if I'll be back to, like I said, running in a few weeks, a few months, or ever. But here's what I do now. If I give up now, it guarantees that I won't recover, right? So instead, I got to trust that process. I got to put in the work. I got to listen to my body. I got to keep going one step at a time. And that's really it. I think for everyone, life is full of unknowns. And there's going to be times where you don't have all the answers, when you don't know how things will turn out. But uncertainty is not an exercise or excuse, I should say, to quit. It's really a reason to push forward. Keep doing what you can. Trust that results will come. And I talk about this a lot when I talk about like my DCP formula and stuff in the episodes. Lesson number 4, never give up. adapt and overcome. If one path is blocked, you got to find another. If one method doesn't work, you got to try a different one. If a door closes, you got to look for a window. We've heard all those type of phrases before. Some are cheesy and cliche, but it's true. Right now, my body's not letting me do certain things, but that doesn't mean that I stop. I adapt, I focus on what I can do, and I work within those limits and push them, right? In fact, that's one of the things I love about my physical therapist I'm working with. He wants me to push everything, which is my nature. So, that's wonderful. And you can do that with this type of injury, I'm finding out, which is good. Sometimes it really hurts when you push, right? But, you don't know unless you push to that kind of level and then back off, right? So life works the same way. Hannah, when you face obstacles, you don't just sit there wishing things were different, right? You find another way forward. And if your first attempt doesn't work, you try again and again and again, right? And if that doesn't work, you try something else. There's always a way forward, but you have to be willing to seek it and find it and keep going until you've gotten it. I don't know what the future holds for me physically. I do know that I'm in a lot better shape than I was a couple weeks ago. And I do know that no matter what, I'll find a way to compete again. It may take weeks, months, or even longer, but I'm going to get back at it. And then you better believe, as soon as I'm back at it, I'll do an episode talking about what it was like to get through that and do that. Because this is, this has been, this is the worst I've ever been injured in my life. And I want you to remember, this lesson for you, when life throws challenges at you, right? You got to get back up. You got to keep going, right? Stand up, or knock down 7, stand up 8. And so, I think, to end this, Hannah, like, setbacks are inevitable. You are going to face struggles. You will experience disappointments, but these moments never, ever define you. What defines you is how you respond to them. So I want you to remember these 4 things, right? Control your emotions and mindset. You can't always control what happens, but you can control how you react. Keep moving forward. Even slow progress is progress. Never stop. Embrace the process and the unknown. You don't need all the answers to keep going. You just need to keep going. Never give up. If one way doesn't work, you'll find another. You adapt and overcome. This injury is just another test for me, and I'm going to pass it. And when you face your own challenges, I know you will too, sweetie. So I love you, and I hope this lesson stays with you. Dad.